Hello and welcome to the Stars and Pars podcast with your host, Evan Ingle. This is the show where golf betting meets astrology. And today we have 3 tournaments to cover. Really 2. The third's just for fun. Obviously, the main one being the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am for the PGA Tour. And then we also have LIV Golf Adelaide in Australia. And the third one is the Champions Tour. I think it's called the Chubb Classic. Interesting name. So we got those to cover. We're also going to recap last week's picks and also my Super Bowl picks. If you watched that episode, I snuck that in here on Friday. So I'll go over that all in a minute. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, you like this show or you're just watching it for the first time, please give me a 5-star rating on Spotify. That really helps me out there. And follow me there too if you'd like. And also on YouTube, please subscribe. We're growing slowly, but we're lonely over there. But I just started up a couple weeks ago, so if you like watching on YouTube, follow me there. I really appreciate it. And to all who listen every week, I really, really appreciate you guys and hope you've been tailing, because we've been on a little bit of a roll, and I don't want to jinx it because this week's going to be really difficult. But yeah, last week we got another winner. And we'll get to that in a second, but let's go over the LIV picks that I took real quick. We had Jon Rahm. I was really big on Jon Rahm. I thought he was going to win it. He had a freaking crazy last day 4, and he ended up losing by 1 to Elvis Smiley, whose chart I'll go over in a second. But I think Rahm went 9 under to get it to, however, it was within 1 stroke, and Smiley just had a par the last hole to win it. But I was pretty disappointed in that. I thought he had it all week long, but we still ended up cashing Jon Rahm top 5 at plus 110. That was pretty much the lock of the week. And then we also got top 10 Thomas Pieters at plus 270. So that was nice. And then we also got Taylor Gooch at plus 110, top 20. And also Richard T. Lee in his LIV debut in the top 20 at plus 230. So we got all of that. It didn't really cover all the losses on LIV, but it wasn't much of a overall loss in the long run. So that was good. And then DP World Tour, we got crushed, except we had Joachim Lagergren, who had I think he was 1 back going into the weekend against Patrick Reed. I was not on Patrick Reed, who ended up winning it because his Leo placement I think I overthought that one a little too much. And also, I was on Patrick Reed a week or 2 weeks ago. Whenever he lost in a playoff to Freddie Schott. So I was just kind of had a bad taste in my mouth with Patty Reed going into this last week. But he's a Leo sun, Aquarius moon. That's really where it was. I talked about Aquarius being the biggest career house impact of the week last week. And because Scorpio brought out the career sector for Aquarius, but Scorpio and Leo don't get along too well, so that's where I kind of fell off on Patrick Reed. Plus, I thought he wouldn't have a good bounce back week after his playoff blow up. But he's a Libra rising. Air's been vibing with the Aquarius air all month long, and then his Cancer midheaven, Venus and Jupiter, is where I completely overlooked. Cancer and Scorpio go so well together. And then just kind of highlighted by the career boost from his Aquarius moon. I think it just made a ton of sense. And also his Mars is Taurus, and Taurus all month long, like I've been saying, has been boosted by the Aquarius sun career-wise. So it makes a lot of sense why Patrick Reed won. Unfortunately, we did not have him, but it's all good. And then real quick, just go over Elvis Smiley's chart, who I did not see winning in his first debut, but it does make a lot of sense. Like I said, Taurus is all month long. It's their career time, and he is a Taurus sun, Mercury, and Venus. So there you have it. He's a Virgo moon, Gemini rising, and Mars, Aquarius midheaven, and Cancer Jupiter. makes a ton of sense. Just did not think a guy like I've been on him before when he was on the DP World Tour, and he never really won to my better part of my memory. I don't think he ever really won. He always got close. He always played really well, so I always had my eye on him. But I just didn't think he would beat John Rahm, you know. But hey, he did. So bravo to him. And he might have another good week this week. So that was LIV and the DP World Tour. And then on the PGA Tour, we got another winner, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Gotterup, who I got at plus 3,600. Cancer Sun, Libra Moon, Leo Mercury, Aquarius Midheaven, Venus Virgo, Scorpio Mars, Taurus Jupiter Rising. He also was the first round leader, who I did not have him coming out that hot. But when he was there, I was feeling pretty good because I was like, he's one of our outrights, and if he holds it together, we'll be looking good. And then the middle 2 days of the tournament, he kind of played even par, didn't really play that great. And then on Sunday, he had a little surge, and with the help of Hideki, who we also were on and had him in outright, Hideki could not find a fairway for his life on Sunday. It was really annoying to watch. Because I thought he was our only chance for a little bit, with like Scotty kind of surging, and who else was it? Siwoo. Yeah, there was like a few other guys that we were not on that I was like kind of stressing about, but and then Hideki just blew up on that last hole and got a bogey and ascent to a playoff, and at that point I just had a feeling like he wasn't gonna do it. But when you have both the guys in the playoffs, you're sitting pretty, and I technically was going to win a little bit more off Hideki. I forget. But basically, like, I just hedged the difference of how much I would have won going to the playoff, and I didn't even watch the playoff because I was like, we're good. Either one of these guys wins, we got the winner. So, but ended up being Chris Gotterup, and he's just on a tear, and I don't think he's going to slow down. I just think he's unlocked something. And with Jupiter in Cancer right now, this is like where I mention Jupiter every week. It's a year-long transit, so it's been there. I think it's only halfway through it right now. But he's a Cancer Sun, Chris Gotterup. And when Jupiter is in Cancer, or Jupiter's in any sign, like, it's kind of a year of good fortune and good luck, good things happening for you. And he's a Cancer Sun, so it just makes a lot of sense why he's had a lot of success literally in the last 6 months. I think his first win was the Scottish Open in June or July. And I think Cancer was already in Jupiter by then, but don't quote me on that. Regardless, he's playing great. I'm going to be back on him again this week. I just don't think he's going to slow down. Why is he going to slow down anytime soon? He's just playing really good golf. All right. But so we got Chris Gotterup outright. Awesome. Kind of covered all the rest of the losses on the other tournaments. And then we got Chris Gotterup top 10 at plus 280. So that was good. And then Batia plus 200. Batia was also in the mix. We also had him on, I threw a little bit on him after the first round because he was on my long shot live betting watches, guys. So I was really feeling good about him as well. But he ended up getting plus 200, top 30, so that was good. And then also Kevin Roy in the top 40, plus 192, also hit. And then we had a few guys that were just like a few strokes off of that, like Lamprecht, I think, was a few out of the top 40. Yeah, and then the matchups weren't that great. We did hit Keith Mitchell over Harry Hall at minus 104, but not a big deal there. And then top Asian, we got Hideki plus 245, and then also top Canadian. This was a little bit of a surprise. Was Mackenzie Hughes tied with I forget his name, another Canadian. It's like AJ. What was his name? AJ Ewart? Never heard of him before, but he also was Canadian. But they both finished at 7 under, so that was a push. But hey, still a W. Yeah, so overall, good win. Got a little bit of profit, not a ton of profit, but 2 weeks in a row of hitting a couple winners. We're looking good, okay? So, and then real quick, I didn't want to make this too long. Super Bowl predictions. Prop wise was not great, but we did get Seahawks minus 4.5, the under 45.5, and also Seahawks over 25.5 points. So that was awesome. And then I did say Nick Imanwari, 5+ tackles, that cashed. Ernest Jones, 6+ tackles, that cashed. Rashid Shaheed, over 22.5 yards, that cashed. Made a throw and interception, also cashed. And then the Ramondre Stevenson touchdown cash and the Seahawks defense touchdown cash. So kind of broke even on all the rest of the stuff there. So whatever, it was just fun to have that, and glad to see the Patriots not win. So congrats to the Seahawks. Boring game, but the whole time I was like, the under's looking real good this whole game. So that was that. All right, moving on. This week, let's talk about the transits real quick for this week. So, LIV Golf starts tomorrow, 5:15 Wednesday. So I'm going to talk about the Wednesday to Sunday transits, okay, even though they're finishing on Saturday night, because now they're four days if you have not caught up with the memo yet. The Champions Tour starts on Friday, and then PGA Tournament starts on Thursday as normal. So basically, tomorrow, or as of now, the moon is in Sagittarius, and it's going to stay there all day tomorrow, Wednesday, and it's going to stay there until Thursday morning, 11:45 a.m. Pacific time, because they're in California this week. So I'm going to go off Pacific time. At 11:45 Pacific time, Thursday, it's going to go into Capricorn. Okay, and it's going to stay in Capricorn the rest of Thursday, all day Friday, and pretty much all day Saturday until 10:17 p.m. Saturday night. The rounds will be over, third round will be over. And then on Sunday, Saturday night, 10:17 p.m., the moon goes into Aquarius, which is where the sun and Mars currently still are. So we're going to have Aquarius finish on Sunday. Could see another playoff. And I did say wouldn't be surprised if we saw a playoff last week, and we did, because the fixed signs, when there's a lot of fixed signs in the sky, that kind of is what it influences. And then, so the sun and Mars are still in Aquarius for I think this is the last week of Aquarius tournament, I'm pretty sure. And then, but now Mercury and Venus have now officially shifted into Pisces. So there's some water in the sky that we have to pay attention to. Now, who am I after this week? Because Sagittarius lights up the career sector for Pisces. So that's important for LIV more importantly than anything. But also Pisces get a boost because Mercury and Venus are both in their sign now, okay? Taurus is still all month long, have the career boost. Most of the winners we've seen this month have Taurus somewhere in their chart, so that's going to continue going to be proven true. And especially on Sunday for the PGA, Taurus it's a double Aquarius, sun and moon. It's huge career implications for Tauruses and Aquariuses. But basically, Pisces, we have to talk about Pisces because there's 2 Pisces signs in the skies. That brings out the career sector for Geminis, which is scary because that's Scotty Scheffler. It's like he's got a lot of Gemini in his chart. And then the Capricorn moon for like the bulk of the middle of the tournament brings out the career sector for Aries. So what I'm trying to get at is Aries, Capricorns, Aquarius, Pisces, Geminis, and especially Tauruses all have a big boost. Tauruses also are Earth. Capricorn is Earth. That's a very good look for them. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is the latest I've started my show, or recording at least, on a Tuesday, all season long, or honestly in months, because I have not been able to really decide who I think is going to win this week. It's a toss up, straight up. So we're going to get to PGA eventually, but I'm going to start with a few quick picks with the Champions Tour. Again, they start Friday, so the Capricorn moon's Friday, Capricorn moon Saturday, and then Aquarius moon on Sunday, with all the Pisces and the other Aquarius signs that we talked about. Okay, so my first pick for the Champions Tour. I think this guy's going to win it. You could probably just stop right here. Miguel Angel Jimenez, plus 1,200. Capricorn Sun, Mercury, Mars in midheaven. Libra Moon, Aries rising and Jupiter, Aquarius Venus. He's got Aquarius, he's got Capricorn, he's got the Aries, that's what we're looking for, and his Libra Moon vibes with all of the air. If you want to stop right there for Champions Tour, don't blame you. But I also like Justin Leonard at plus 1,200 as well. Gemini Sun, Venus in midheaven. Leo Moon, Virgo rising, Cancer, Mercury, Mars, Capricorn, Jupiter. He just has a lot of that Gemini stuff that I'm looking for, so And then Richard Green at plus 2,000, Aquarius Sun, Mercury in midheaven, Taurus rising, Sagittarius Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Capricorn, Venus. It's a good chart. Actually, I like that better than Leonard's chart. And you get a little more value from that one. But he's got the Aquarius, he's got the Taurus, he's got the Sag. Even though Sag doesn't get a huge boost this week, Sag and Pisces don't get along so well. So we'll see about that. And then I also like Soren Kjeldsen, plus 2,200. Taurus Sun, Leo Moon, Virgo Rising, Gemini Midheaven and Mercury, Cancer Venus, Pisces Mars. So he's got a little bit of everything in there, but I like the Taurus. I like the Gemini stuff, and his Pisces Mars gets a boost from the Pisces Venus and Mercury. And then I also like George McNeil. Honestly, I've never heard of. Looked him up, plus 2,800. Libra Sun and Mercury, Virgo Moon, Pisces Rising, Capricorn Midheaven, Leo Venus, Gemini Mars, Aries Jupiter. Just like that Capricorn Midheaven a lot. And the Aquarius stuff will work well with the rest of his chart. And then two more, Stephen Ames, plus 3,300. He's kind of always in the mix with the Champions Tour. Taurus Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter. Scorpio Moon, Gemini Rising, and Venus. And then a Pisces Midheaven and an Aries Mars. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I love that as much anymore now I'm talking about this out loud. I still like Miguel Angel Jimenez and Richard Green the most. And then lastly, I actually really like this guy. He's plus 5,500, so he's like the longest shot I'll have for the Champions Tour. Is Charlie Wee, Capricorn Sun, Leo Moon, Taurus Rising, Aquarius Midheaven and Venus, Sagittarius Jupiter, Mercury, and then Aries Mars. So he's got the Aries, he's got the Cap, and the Taurus, and the Aquarius. So watch out for Charlie Wee. All right, so that's Champions Tour. That was quick. That was easy. We're moving on now to LIV. So again, they start tomorrow, Wednesday, 5:15 p.m. Pacific time. Sagittarius Moon, Wednesday. Sag Moon, Thursday. I'm sorry. That's not right. Wait, Sag Moon? Yeah. Because they're going to play 5:15 on Thursday. So I got that wrong. They're going to, so Sag Wednesday, and then by the time they play Thursday, the Moon's going to be in Capricorn. And then they're going to play at the same time on Friday, also Moon in Capricorn. And then Saturday is where it gets a little hairy, because Capricorn is, like, if they started on 5 or 6, like they're going to start on tomorrow, well, that Moon shifts into Aquarius at like 10 o'clock Pacific time, which will be like towards the end of their round on Saturday night. So Cap/Aquarius Moon finish for them, which might change things. But also, I feel like all my picks kind of correlate with that. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. I don't like that. One of them is a massive long shot, so we'll call it 8, and I'll put a baby unit on this other guy. Okay. If John Rahm wins, so be it. I just like, I couldn't get to it because I liked all these other guys a little bit better. But then again, LIV's kind of a toss-up. I mean, we just saw it last week. Elvis Smiley won it. That was a curveball. Is John Rahm going to be in the mix? 100%. He always is. But now I'm kind of like in my head about this. All right, let's just go. Let's just talk that. Let's just say John Rahm's not going to win. First guy I like is David Puig. David Puig, I think is how you say it. Plus 1,125, okay? Sagittarius Sun, Mercury and Venus, Virgo Moon, Taurus Rising, Aquarius Mars, and Midheaven, and a Cancer Jupiter. So again, they got the Sag, the Cap, Aquarius. His whole chart should be great with all of that. I think he plays really well here. And I think he's going to be in the mix, like at least top 5 is his floor, okay? I also like Tyrrell Hatton, Libra Sun, Mercury and Mars, Capricorn Moon, Sagittarius Rising, Virgo Midheaven, Venus, and Jupiter, plus 1,700. Tyrrell's always a threat to be in the mix. He's a really good golfer. He's got the air, he's got the earth, he's got the Sag, This is Virgo midheaven that gives me a little worry, but that'll go great once Sag is passed. So I just think he's a very safe play this week, Tyrrell Hatton, okay? Next guy, I also like Carlos Ortiz, plus 2,400. Taurus Sun, Virgo Moon, Cancer Rising and Mars, Aries Midheaven and Mercury, Gemini Venus, Leo Jupiter. I like the Gemini Venus because it's good with the air. And also Gemini gets a boost from Pisces right now, the Pisces Venus. Taurus all month long, like I said, it's boosted by the Aquarius Sun and Mars. And he's all earth pretty much with some water. And then Aries midheaven is lit up career-wise by the Capricorn moon. So I think Carlos Ortiz actually is going to have a really good week. Next guy, we're going to go with last week's winner, especially because he's Australian and they're in Australia. Elvis Smiley, plus 3,200. When you're in a groove like that, you got to just keep it going. Day one might be a little worrying for me with him, but if he gets through it at a decent, it was only a few back, like I think he has a really good chance to surge again, especially being in his home country. But he's a Taurus Sun, Mercury and Venus, Virgo Moon. It's Earth and Air week pretty much. Gemini Rising and Mars. It's great with everything in the sky right now, especially the Pisces that just entered. And then Aquarius midheaven, Cancer Jupiter. There's another Cancer Jupiter guy that won just recently, so we'll see if he can keep it going for back-to-back. All right, this next guy actually might be one of my favorites of all of these guys. It's Sebastian Munoz at plus 3,200. Really like this chart. Capricorn Sun and Mercury, Taurus Moon, Pisces Rising and Venus, Sagittarius Midheaven, Cancer Mars, Libra Jupiter. He just has the Cap, the Taurus, the Pisces, and the Sag Midheaven is going to be big for day one especially. I like to see him getting off to a good start. And then the rest of his chart should help hold his performance, be consistent the rest of the way. So we'll see about Munoz. And then I also like Thomas Dietrich, plus 3,500, who I think was the first round leader last week. We did not have that. But he's a Capricorn Sun, Mercury and Midheaven, Libra Moon and Jupiter, kind of like Tyrrell Hatton. He's an Aries rising. That's huge for the Capricorn Moon. Pisces Venus, that's actually where Venus is right now in Pisces. And he's Cancer Mars, who's got the water, earth, air, and fire, which is all four elements. Now that I say that out loud, I sound stupid saying that. But yeah, no, it's a good chart. It's a good all-around chart. I really like that a lot. All right. Two more guys and then the long shot. I also like Lucas Herbert because he's also Australian. And I think he played well last year at Adelaide. He's plus 3,800. Sagittarius Sun, Mercury and Jupiter. Taurus Moon, Aquarius Rising, Scorpio Midheaven, Capricorn Venus and Mars. The Scorpio midheaven's where I get a little worried, but I don't know. I just think he gets a boost from playing in Australia, and I don't know. I just like the Cap and the Taurus and the Aquarius stuff in his chart, so we'll see. Okay, and then I also like Caleb Surratt at plus 5,400. Pisces Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aries Rising and Mercury, Capricorn Midheaven, Taurus Venus and Mars, Virgo Jupiter. So he's got the Pisces Sun, he's got the Aquarius, he's got Aries and Capricorn and Taurus in his chart. Watch out for Caleb Surratt, you guys. It's a good look. All right, my one long shot of the week. He's the rookie, Michael Lasasso, plus 22,000. Aries Sun, Rising and Mercury, Taurus Moon and Venus, Capricorn Midheaven, Gemini Mars, Virgo Jupiter. It's a great chart, you guys. That's why I wrote him down. The Gemini Mars is huge with the Pisces stuff and also the Aquarius stuff. His Taurus Moon is huge with everything in the sky. And then all the Aries he has is lit up by that Capricorn Moon that's coming in for the bulk of the tournament. So I think he actually has a really strong week, if you ask me, okay? So real quick, Puig, Hatton, Ortiz, Smiley, Munoz, Detry, Herbert, and Surratt. And then Lasasso as a little sprinkle because he's a high number. And the odds are he's probably not going to win, but top 10 wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. But I got him in the top 20. So let's get to these real quick. Top 5, I think David Puig plus 186 is a lock. I hate saying that, though, because I always feel like it's it's just like, I don't know. I also like Tyrrell Hatton at plus 255 to finish in the top 5. They both may not finish there, but if one does, I'll be okay with that. Top 10, Sebastian Munoz at plus 184. That actually might be the lock of the week. I just love his chart. He played good last week. I think he's going to keep it rolling. Also like Lucas Herbert finished in the top 10 at plus 210. And also Thomas Dietrich at plus 192 to finish in the top 10, okay? And then 2 guys for the top 20. Caleb Surratt at plus 100. That's even money. That also might be a lock of the week. And then going big, Michael Lasasso. It's only plus 245, but I think he finishes in the top 20. I think he has a good week, okay? All right, 4 guys in the first round leader. I really didn't spend much time thinking about this. I'm kind of not. I've been dialing back my first rounders lately. They're so hard to hit, but I think Tom McKibben at plus 2,800 is an interesting look. Because again, Sagittarius moon on Wednesday. That's what I'm really after. Aquarius sun, Sag moon with all the Pisces stuff. He's got a great chart for day 1. Tom McKibben, Sag sun in midheaven, Gemini moon, Pisces rising, Capricorn, Mercury, Scorpio, Venus, and Mars, and then a Leo, Jupiter. I could see Tom McKibben having a solid day 1, all right? I also like Abraham Answer at plus 3,200 in the first round. Pisces, Sun, Mercury, and midheaven. Again, remember, Pisces gets the biggest career boost from the Sagittarius moon on Wednesday, tomorrow, for day 1. So Pisces, Sun, Mercury, midheaven, Leo, moon, and Jupiter. She's got some fire. Gemini, rising, and Mars, got some air. Aries, Venus, some more fire. Abraham Answer, very good look for a first round leader. And then I also like Sebastian Munoz at plus 3,200 because he also has the Sagittarius midheaven like I talked about. And he's got the Pisces rising in Venus. That's big time, okay? And also the Taurus. He's just got a lot of career placements on day 1 especially, okay? And lastly, Lucas Herbert, plus 3,300 is going to be my last first round leader play because he's got the Sag, he's got the Taurus, and he's got the Scorpio midheaven, which is also really good with the Sagittarius. I feel like one of those 4 guys should definitely be near the mix by the end of day 1, okay? And then I got 2 more region picks for LIV, and then we'll move on to Pebble Beach, okay? How far into this? 27 minutes? Okay, yeah, we're moving. Top Great Britain or Ireland. I'm going to go Tyrrell Hatton at plus 205. I think that's pretty safe. And then also top Spanish. This is a risky one. David Puig, plus 265, which means he's got to beat John Rahm. But I think that one's gonna be close, okay? So we'll see about that. All right, moving on to the big one, Pebble Beach. This is why this took me so long today, and I'm still in a bind about who I really like, because let's talk about Scotty real quick. I was really adamant last week. I was like, I just did not believe Scotty was going to win last week. And obviously he didn't. He had a horrible day 1 because the Libra moon on day 1 last week conflicted with his Cancer sun, threw him all over the place. And then he kind of figured it out towards the end. This week, I'm less confident in him not winning. So if he wins, I won't be surprised. Could I get there though? No, I couldn't. Could I get in the without market? No, I couldn't. If he wins, I won't be too upset. Listen, the only career signs he has in the sky this week is the Mercury and Venus are both in Pisces. And that lights up his Cancer sun and also all of his Gemini, midheaven, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Its opposite is Virgo, which is interesting, but with the moon being in Cap and then Aquarius, like it's not bad, but it's not like career heavy for Scotty like it is for a lot of these other guys that I'm going to mention. And I always come back and I always ask myself, like, do you just wrap it up this week and say Scotty's going to win? And I always come back to saying, unless he's got massive career influences, like multiple, I don't want it. He's only got like 1 career influence this week. And if that's enough for him to win, so be it. Okay. So that being said, if you want to go in the without Scotty market, be my guest. I think there's too many other guys who are going to play way too well this week for him to like clearly run away with it. So that being said, I'm going to fade Scotty, and that could be my famous last words. We'll see. But I just needed to talk about him. If he wins, I won't be surprised. I won't either be upset either, but I just can't see him winning yet. He's going to have his time. Trust me. He's going to have his time. But there's some guys I like better. Okay, so let's get to him. First guy I like, it's last year's winners, Rory McIlroy, plus 1,300. Taurus, Sun, Venus in midheaven. That's his career month. Aries moon, lit up career-wise by the Capricorn moon on this week. Leo rising, goes great with everything. Gemini, Mercury, and Jupiter. He's got Gemini that gets lit up by the Pisces. That's where I was kind of with Scotty, but Rory's got some Gemini. And his Cancer Mars is lit up by the Pisces, Venus, and Mercury. Cancer's opposite to Capricorn. That's not a bad look. So I like Rory a lot, you guys. I really like him a lot. I also like Cameron Young, going on Cam for the first time this year. Plus 2,700. He's Taurus, Sun, and Rising, and Venus. A lot of Taurus in Cam Young's chart. Gemini moon, Aquarius, Jupiter, and midheaven. There it is. There it is for Sunday, when that moon and sun and Mars are all in Aquarius. Aries, Mercury. There's some career boost from the Capricorn moon. And then Mars, Virgo is great with everything in the train, except Sag. But I'm not too worried about that. So that being said, Cam Young, I think he's going to play really well this week, okay? Next guy, I almost took him off, but I ended up going with him. Going to Tommy Fleetwood, plus 2,800, and here's why. Capricorn, Sun, and Mercury. He's getting his moon this week. Pisces moon is boosted by the Mercury and Venus in Pisces. Taurus rising in Mars. Aquarius midheaven and Venus. Huge, you guys, to have that Aquarius, Venus in midheaven. Leo, Jupiter. So he's got Taurus, he's got Cap, Pisces, and Aquarius. That's 4 of the 6 signs I mentioned that I'm looking at. I think Tommy's going to have a stellar week, especially with his midheaven being in Aquarius on Sunday. So if he's behind, look for him to surge on Sunday, okay? And the next guy, we're going right back to him. Last week's winner, Chris Goddard at plus 3,000. I think Rory unlocked a way to win Pebble last year, which is just bomb it and get it down there as close as you can. And if there's anyone can bomb it and play well in the wind, and I think about the Scottish Open, which is also played on the coast, and he won it. It's Chris Goddard. He's got that low stinger off the tee that works really well for him when needed. Cancer Sun, Libra Moon, Leo Mercury, Aquarius Midheaven, Venus Virgo, Scorpio Mars. He's got all of the elements, Taurus, Jupiter, and Rising. Like, the Capricorn Moon might be a little interesting, but again, like, he's got the Earth, though, in him. He's got Earth, so... And he's got the air. Yeah, I just can't see... I just feel like he's going to be in the mix again, okay? Going right back to him, Chris Goddard. Now, I left Ben Griffin, Jake Knapp, and Ryan Gerard barely off my card. If any of those guys win it, I'll actually be upset because I left them off. But they all have good looks. I just really sat and asked myself, are any of these guys going to beat, like Rory or like Tommy or like Cam Young? Like, they very well could. I'm pretty sure all 3 of them are playing this for the first time too. So that's kind of where they lost me. So I left them off, okay? But the next guy I'm definitely adding is Sepp Straka, who ended up having a bad start last week, and then he finished pretty well, and I like that. Plus 6,300. Taurus, Sun, and Midheaven, Virgo Moon, Leo Rising and Mars, Aries, Mercury, and Venus, Libra, Jupiter. He's got the Taurus, he's got the Leo, even though Leo's not that big, but he's got the Aries is what I really am after. So watch out for Sepp Straka, okay? And then I also left off Akshay Bhatia and Taylor Pendrith. I barely left them off. Akshay played really well last week, and Taylor Pendrith has a long drive, but I don't think he can beat the other guys that you've already mentioned. So the next guy I did add, though, is Kurt Kitayama, who was kind of disappointing last week. I thought he had a big week, but I think he's going to be, again, potentially have a good week this week. Plus 7,400. Capricorn, Sun, and Mercury, Libra, Moon, and Jupiter, Taurus Rising, Aquarius Midheaven, Pisces Venus, Cancer Mars. It's a great chart. It's a great chart. Watch out for Kitayama, okay? I also left off Keegan Bradley. Barely. He's got a ton of Gemini. He's got Cancer, Mercury, and Venus. Ugh, now I'm talking out loud. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'll add Keegan Bradley. It just hasn't been that great this year so far, though. So, I don't know. TBD on Keegan. If he comes out well, I might have to throw something on him. But on my initial card, I'm going to leave him off, okay? Because I like this guy better. Nick Taylor, plus 8,400. Aries, Sun, Mercury, Midheaven. Again, we're going after career signs. That's why I like the guys that I really am taking. Capricorn Moon is going to light up all of his career sector. And then to add more career sector to it, he's a Taurus Moon in Jupiter. It's his month. And then he's a Cancer rising. Gemini Venus, huge. And Aquarius Mars, which is where Mars still is. And the Pisces stuff doesn't affect him because he's a Cancer rising. Guys, Nick Taylor has a really good chart. And again, if there's a playoff, you don't want to bet against Nick Taylor in a playoff. I don't care who he's playing. I don't care if it's Scotty or Rory. You don't want to bet against Nick Taylor in a playoff, okay? So those are my guys. McIlroy, Cam Young, Tommy, Goddard, Straka, Kitayama, Nick Taylor. And I'm going to mention 5 long shots. These are long shots / live betting watch. I don't initially put something on these guys until I see them come out for at least the first 9 holes. And then we'll see. But if any of these guys kind of surge and have a great week, I will not be surprised. In fact, I might put a little something on a couple of them. So let's get to it. Garrick Higo is the first long shot I'm going to talk about. Plus 10,500. He's a Taurus Sun, Mercury in Midheaven. He's an Aries Moon in Jupiter. Leo rising, Cancer, Venus, Libra, Mars. Very similar chart to Nick Taylor a little bit. But he's just Taurus, Aries, Water, Venus, Libra, Mars. It's a really good look. Watch out for Garrick Higo. Okay, the next guy who's been playing really well, I think will continue it. It's Stefan Jaeger. Also another bomber who can get it off the tee very far. Plus 14,000. Gemini Sun, Venus, Jupiter, and Midheaven. Aries Moon, Virgo rising, Taurus, Mercury, Cancer, Mars. It's a great chart with all that Gemini, Aries, the Taurus especially. He's got 2 of the career boosts we're looking for this week. So I'm looking for him to continue his play, and we'll see what happens. Next guy, I like Max McGreevy at plus 16,000. Taurus, Sun, and Rising, Gemini, Moon, and Mercury. Like Cam Young, actually. It's very similar to Cam Young. Aquarius, Midheaven. Aries, Venus, Leo, Mars, Sag, Jupiter. It's actually very similar to Cam Young's chart. So I like Max McGreevy for all the same reasons, okay? Plus 16,000. 2 more guys. This guy has not had a good start to his PGA career so far, but I think this is the first week he's going to play really well. Marco Penge, plus 16,500. Taurus Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Rising. All the Taurus. That's huge. Capricorn Moon, perfect. Aquarius Midheaven, massive. Aries, Venus, Pisces, Jupiter. He's got all the signs we're looking for. I think, again, if he's a long hitter as well, this might be a good week for him to kind of finally say, all right, welcome. This is my welcome to the PGA moment, okay? All right, and lastly, former winner here a few years ago. Great chart. Tom Hoagie, plus 26,000. Gemini Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. Aquarius Moon, all air. And then he's got Leo rising, which is great with pretty much everything this week. And then a Taurus Midheaven, that's where I really like him. And a Cancer Mars to have a little bit of water to go with a little bit of water in the sky that we have with the Pisces, Venus, and Mercury, okay? So those are my 5 long shots. Higo, Jaeger, McGreevy, Penge, and Hoagie. It's only an 80-man field, so I'm not trying to go crazy. I'm taking 7 outrights. I always try to keep it to less than 10% of the field. And then the long shots are where I keep a little extra just in case they really start popping off. If I were to sprinkle like baby units on 2 of these guys, it'd probably be Higo, and it probably would be McGreevy, okay? But we're going to see how the other guys come out. All right, moving on. Last I checked, there was no first-round leader. Let me check one more time. There's no first-round leader odds. Yeah, I don't see them yet. I think they come out tomorrow, so we won't worry about that. Oh, that's why, because they're playing 2 different courses for day 1 and day 2, I'm pretty sure. Regardless, I have 5 guys written down for first round leader. Again, I didn't spend much time on this. And it's also tough because they go off early in the morning, And I don't know if they're all going off at the same time or if some are going off like in like the mid morning, like 11, because by 11, what was it, 11:17 or something, 11:45 on Thursday is when the moon goes from Sag to Capricorn. So if you come out at 7 a.m., you're technically still playing under a Sagittarius moon, but the Cap moon's influence will already be felt, I'm pretty sure. So I'm kind of going off that, if that makes sense. Okay, but the first guy I like, Pearson Cootie. He's going to win a tournament at some point this year, I'm pretty sure. It's not this one, though. He'll probably be in the mix, but I just don't see it happening yet. But first round looks great. Again, it's going to be a Sag, Capricorn. I'm going to go Capricorn moon transit with the Aquarius stuff and some Pisces stuff, but he's a Cap sun, moon, Mercury, and midheaven. There it is. He's an Aries rising in Jupiter, which gets a boost from the Capricorn moon. Sagittarius, Venus, Pisces, Mars. I just like Pearson Cootie a lot in first rounds, okay? Especially because Capricorn and Aries, they're both cardinal traits, and in astrology, cardinal traits are like the initiators. They're like the starters of the zodiac. So he's a better starter than he is a finisher, and that's where it really works well with first round leader. There's another guy I'll mention right now, Keith Mitchell. He's known for Mr. Thursday, right? Well, because he's got a lot of cardinal trait in his chart that helps him start better than it does finish. But he also has a good finishing sign in there as well. But regardless, Keith Mitchell is my next first round leader pick. Capricorn sun in midheaven, Aries rising, very similar to Pearson Cootie, but Aquarius moon, which vibes with the rest of the Aquarius in the sky right now. And then Sagittarius, Mercury, Venus, and Mars is great with the Capricorn stuff. It's not great with the Pisces stuff in the sky. That's where it gets a little worrying, but Capricorn and Aquarius are both vibe well with Pisces, so it's kind of going to be a hit or a miss with him. We'll see. And then I also like Sepp Straka, with just all that fire and earth in his chart. Come out in the first round, play well. We'll see. Also like Ben Griffin because he's got fire and earth as well. So we'll see about that. And then lastly, Jake Knapp, first round leader. Could see it happening as well because he's got the Taurus, midheaven, and Mars with all the other, he's got some air stuff in there. But I don't know. First round leader has just been really tough so far this year to hit one. So, Nick Taylor, actually. Maybe I'll add Nick Taylor. I'm going to add Nick Taylor live right now. Nick Taylor, first round leader, because of all the Aries and the Capricorn, or the Aries and the Taurus that he's got to vibe with the Capricorn moon. Well, frick, if I'm going to do that, then I may as well add Ryan Gerard as well, because Ryan Gerard also has Aries and fire and Capricorn in his chart too, okay? All right, leaving it right there. So, Cootie, Straka, Keith Mitchell, Griffin, Knapp, Taylor, and Gerard are my first round leader guys. Baby units. Don't go crazy on those. You know the spiel. All right. All right. Almost done. Getting out of here in the next couple minutes. My one top 5 play of the week, it's going to be Rory, plus 250. I can't see him not being in the mix. Granted, it's his first PGA event of the year. I don't think he's played in a few weeks. But, these guys are always working. They're always grinding. And he won here last year, so he's got some swag. Top 5, Rory, plus 250. Top 10, I'm going to go Cam Young at plus 210. I'm going to go Jake Knapp at plus 270. That's the risky one, but I just feel it in my gut. And then I'm going to parlay Rory and Tommy Fleetwood, both in the top 10 at plus 600. I like that a lot. Top 20. I got 4 guys in a parlay. They're probably not all going to hit, but whatever. Sepp Straka, plus 160, top 20. Garrick Higo, plus 235, top 20. Stefan Jaeger, plus 270. Top 20. Those two guys are a little bit of not longer shots, but like a little bit of riskier picks, right? And then Keegan Bradley at plus 178 in the top 20. That's interesting to me because he's got some Pisces influence career-wise this week. And then this is a 5-man parlay. We'll see if this hits. All these guys finish in the top 20, plus 1192. Scotty, Rory, Tommy, Cam Young, Jake Knapp. All finish in the top 20, plus 1192. We shall see about that one. Top 30, I'm going to go Max McGreevy at plus 175. And I'm going to go Tom Hoge, plus 255. I just think they're both going to have good weeks. The top 30 sounds pretty good to me. And then top 40, Welcome to the PGA, Marco Penge, plus 105. I think his floor is top 40 this week, okay? I got 3 double chance bets, meaning this guy or this guy wins. I'm going to go Rory or Chris Gotterup, plus 860. That's pretty good. I'm going to go Tommy or Jake Knapp at plus 1550. I'm going to go Tommy or Sepp Straka at plus 1900. All right? Any of those 3. 1 triple chance bet, which means any 3 of these guys wins it, you win. Tommy, Gotterup, Ben Griffin, plus 920. A lot of Tommy in here, right? And then lastly, top rest of the world. I'm going to go Nick Taylor at plus 1,000 and Garrick Higgo at plus 1,300. I like those 2 guys a lot. Their charts this week, they sound really good. So we'll see. And then lastly, top continental European. I'm going to go Sepp Straka at plus 395. And I'm going to go Stefan Jaeger at plus 700. All right. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Rory, Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, Chris Gotterup, Sepp Straka, Kitayama, Nick Taylor. I don't feel very confident in them this week because Scotty scares me. A lot of these guys scare me, but Pebble's interesting. Got to be very precise. And, if there's wind, I feel like the guys I pick can play well in the wind. So that's something I considered, but we're going to see, okay? Hopefully we get a 3rd week straight of hitting a winner. So we're going to keep it moving. But that is the show. This is the Stars and Parts podcast with your host, Evan. Like I said earlier, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube. Please 5-star this on Spotify or follow on Spotify if you haven't already. Please share it with your friends. Recommend it. I'm also on TikTok now. I do like quick little videos. I think it's stars.and.pars.po on TikTok. But if you know my little symbol logo thing, then you'll recognize me on TikTok. So follow me there. And yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to say. So we're going to end the show right there. Everyone, best of luck. Stay safe. Let's have a good week of golf. And we will see you next week for, I think it's the Genesis Riviera. Maybe I'm going to go to it. We'll see. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.